Hey,
Can you hear us now?
I think we got it. Tuffy, do you hear us?
Can you hear us now? Yeah. All right. I don't know what happened there. Okay,
Weird.
kids, we're back. Thanks. Yes, we plugged in the microphone.
There's so many buttons and switches. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's the Dawn and Bill and Tuffy Ear show now.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the show. Got a few things I want to talk about. Hobby related. So yesterday, let's start off. We'll start cooking here. So yesterday, we did a little pilgrimage to our local Hobby Lobby,
Dangerous.
which is a store that does all kinds of home decoration hobby stuff, and they do a little bit of everything. So if you have any kind of hobbying, mainly reason we went there is why?
Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas stuff.
Yeah,
I
Christmas.
know it's early. Don't give me any.
Yeah, so
crap.
Christmas. So walking around, I came across something that would be interesting. Is Marty hiding under the table? Is that why?
Yes.
Yes, most
Definitely.
definitely. So I came across this instant green all-purpose moss mat. It is 18 inches by 48 inches, or 45 centimeters by 122 centimeters for all you metric people. I figured this would make an excellent mat. I have not opened it yet because it looks like it's got some loose stuff, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to secure it, if you will, so it doesn't get messy. But we are gonna open it just so we can take a quick peek at it. It's got a zippy lock.
And I know you got this for the purpose of using it as a mat.
Yes.
But now, as I'm looking at the back of this with what it gives you for ideas, they show you covering the top of a birdhouse with it.
Yeah,
And this makes me think we also could make a hobbit hole
oh yeah,
and use that for the top.
So-
rolling into the.
it is literally compressed moss. I can see it doesn't have a. I don't think it really has a backing per se. Maybe a netting backing. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to secure it. Probably
And-
some watered down glue.
It looks like it's going to be a mess.
It's gonna be a mess. That's why we're gonna have to come up with a securement device. Hairspray the stuffing of it.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll have to figure out something. It will probably go with watered down PVA, and just spray it down real good, and it'll look awesome. It'll look awesome.
It was a good find.
And it was only. Well, how much was this? $18. So about 20 pounds. There in the UK world.
Probably the
since
least expensive game mat you could buy. Anyway,
as long as it works.
That's
You know what? Even if it doesn't work as a full blown game mat, you could cut out sections for fields and forests and
hobbit
whatnot.
holes, I'm telling you.
And hobbit holes, right? So how have y'all been? What's going on in the world? Well, obviously there's seriously some things going on in the world. My
Yeah.
glasses are filthy. Don't say it. But Dawn.
Yeah.
What you been doing hobby wise? We usually start to show off with what you up to hobby world.
Right. Okay. So I have been doing one thing that is, I get, for lack of better terms, we could say hobby related and not magic, although, yes, that's always a thing. I recently went to Hobby Lobby, not in our trip yesterday, but prior to that, and
Mhm.
got myself a really nice set of colored pencils, like high end ones, and a sketch pad. And I've started drawing a little bit again.
Good for you.
I'm no Jim. Don't get me wrong. What I'm drawing is not going to look to the caliber of anything he does, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I see,
Ask me what I'm drawing.
What are you drawing, Don?
Well, I'm drawing Cinderella's castle, of course.
What?
I mean, it's got to be Disney related.
Oh, yeah.
Or Harry Potter related. I guess I could do Hogwarts too, but Cinderella's castle is where it's at right now.
I got done painting the new Aliens board game expansion. We're in the pipe 5x5.
Nice.
Excellent. Speaking of which,
Oh, I was just
go ahead. Did I
thoroughly
just
enjoyed watching that.
did you see that? It flicked on. I accidentally hit the space bar.
Ha! We figured out what the
I
problem
figured out
was.
the problem.
Captain Fidget over here.
Sorry. Anyway, uh, that's awesome. Tuffy, I'm assuming you're going to post them on Discord if you haven't already. Please check out our Discord channel, and you can go from there. So you've been drawing,
Yeah. What have you been doing?
not a damn
That's
thing.
not true. You spend an awful lot of time on the computer all the time.
Yeah, but it's not war game related.
Neither is painting, drawing Cinderella's castle.
No.
It's your hobby right now.
Yeah, but this is a war gaming channel, so it's relevant to
Not
war
when I'm
gaming.
here.
But honestly, it comes down to I've been doing some research. Like last Sunday, I did a live stream on solo wargaming. And, what are your options for solo wargaming when you have somebody who doesn't do historical wargaming? Yeah, there are solo rules for miniature wargaming. But sometimes it's easier just to turn on a computer and find an option there. So last week I played Fields of Glory, one of the expansions there. I think that did the Romans, um, and it was fun. It doesn't really replace moving little men, little soldiers around a tabletop. To give you, I almost feel like I'm more the visual person. I want to make a stunning table. Sometimes it's okay just to throw some stuff down, throw a mat down, plop some stuff down, and just kill some plastic people. But I saw that mat stuff, and I'm like, whoa, we could do something with that because I would like to do. Um, you know, some other solo wargaming things and other things, but so I'm looking at some options. I'm trying to get Marty's video up from Autumn Wars from 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Um, yeah. Unfortunately, he was pretty much by himself, and so the video it needs some editing. Let's just put it that way. It needs cleanup and editing, but we'll get there. Um, what's new in the world of wargame? You know what? I want to talk about something since Marty's not here with news. I wanted to talk about being held hostage. And what I mean by that is Kickstarter related. So, there's a company, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but pretty much everybody who knows anything about Kickstarter will probably put two and two together. But there is a company out there that has been very successful on Kickstarter multiple times, but they're not delivering, right? And now they're going to the backers and saying, for us to deliver this game, you need to pay extra. We underestimated, or they blame the Ukrainian war, they blame COVID, whatever the case may be. I'm sorry, I don't understand how the Ukraine war affects something coming out of China.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not stationed in the Ukraine, you're not fighting in the Ukraine. You're in a independent country that is, while still in Europe, you're not right on the, I can understand if you're like in Poland or one of those border countries of Ukraine and you had people, going back and forth doing things, I can understand that. But when you're in another country in Western Europe, to me, it doesn't make sense. And somebody, I get the Kickstarter backer emails, and one of them was, well, if you pledge this level, you have to pay like $250. It was almost the amount of the
That's
pledge,
crazy.
right? At one point, do people just get fed up and say no? Absolutely not.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, we all went in, we all have to, people need to understand that Kickstarter is basically an investment. You're investing in a
Mhm.
company to produce a product or whatever, and go from there. Okay. So you're not guaranteed something.
Right. There's an element of
Yeah.
risk to
There's
getting
definitely an
involved.
element of risk. And, you know, but on the same token, for people to come back and wonder, where did $4 million go?
Yeah.
And now you're asking everybody that backed you for another 150, $250 times that, thousands of backers. That's several more $1 million. You begin to wonder, where's that money going?
Mhm.
Why, what happened to the original $4 million? It makes you wonder, are they spending that money responsibly? You know?
Yeah. Or are they, and I suspect this may be more the case, are they so wrapped up in the next plan or so behind in previous plans
Mm-hmm.
that we're getting into this rolling cycle of let's roll out another Kickstarter to keep fueling the other things that are going
Right.
on rather than that money going into what your pledging is at that moment.
It's almost like a pyramid scheme
A little bit.
because you're producing another campaign to get money to pay for the previous campaign,
Mhm.
you know? Um, and it's a shame. I mean, we have met the people at this company I'm talking about in tough years. You're on the right track.
Yep.
Um, they're very nice people, at least
Mhm.
on the surface. We don't know them well, but we've met with them and talked to them. And I mean, we met them when they first did Mythic Battles.
Yep.
They came to Gen Con, that very first to show off Mythic Battles.
Mhm.
So years ago, and that's where we met them, was when they first hit the scene. It's just frustrating when, I mean, at least for my point of view, and there's other people I can't speak for that we were associated with that heavily promoted their games,
Yep.
and I'm almost like, was I part of the problem? Did we overemphasize things and promise people stuff? Not us personally, but
Right.
promote a belief, or group, a product, and people back stuff based on that. Mythic Battles is a great game,
Yeah, it really is.
but on the same token, it wasn't just Mythic Games; it was also Monolith, right?
Yeah.
So it was a partnership. Um, so you know, everything they've done on their own since then, they've had problems delivering. At least, if as far as I can remember. I mean, we backed Mythic Battles Pantheon, and we got that
Mhm.
one. We backed Reich Busters. I think we got that one. I don't think we ever even tried. We played it maybe once.
Mhm.
It was all right. It was just dungeon crawler set in weird World War II. And I think I got the initial Joan of Arc set, but I think I bought that secondhand. I don't think we backed
Yeah,
that.
I don't think we backed it.
Um, but then, they have like Siege 6 and or Rainbow 6, whatever it's called, and Darkest Dungeon. I mean, pretty much everything since has not hit marks. It's not delivered. Um, so and I'm not bashing Mythic Games. I don't want Mythic Games to think we're bashing them, but the reality of it is what happened,
Yeah.
and it's, as the economy recedes and people's more tighter with their money, you know, they're not going to be as freely to spend their money. It's almost like Kickstarter. CMON, I complain about CMON all the time on Kickstarter. They're a very big company. They're a very successful company, but they produce all their games as a Kickstarter.
Mhm.
So essentially, they're pre-ordering, right?
Yep.
They're going to make it regardless.
Yeah.
It's just a pre-order system, and Kickstarter was not meant to be a pre-order system. It was meant to really help the little guy
Right. Be
bring
able to bring a dream to life.
exactly.
That's yeah.
Excuse me. So my question or my thought is events like this, because it happens all the time. It's not like just this company. has done this. There's several companies. There was another company we backed to another dungeon crawler that never delivered, as far as I'm aware. I don't think we ever received it.
Mhm.
Um, and I think what it is, it's Kickstarter itis, for a lack of better description or
Yeah.
word. People create these grand campaigns, and they offer you the moon and the sun.
Mhm.
If you back it, and if we get to this mark, we're going to add in this expansion, and so you get this. I mean, if you think about Mythic Battles, Pantheon, was it? Remember when you got the huge people were showing pictures of towers of
Yeah.
games
Yep, it
expansions?
was. Yeah.
Um, I mean, it was ridiculous the amount of stuff you got, and people didn't play with half of it. Now you're seeing on Facebook pages, I'm selling my, whatever God pledge, and because I don't have room for it and I don't play it, and it's almost like you're super saturating the market,
Mhm.
and people only have, they don't have infinite space. They only have limited space. Uh, so what do you do about it? So I have backed almost 100 projects, and I went through my Kickstarter page the other day, thinking about what have I gotten and what I have not gotten at this point. Well, actually, I've backed 81. Um, and then I look at some of the stuff that I've backed that I have received, like Mythic Battles Ragnarok. Still haven't received that, and that was from 2021, April of 2021. It was $2.4 million, 13,000 backers. Supposedly, they just sent out a thing for that. Um, let's see. I received that. I received that. Received that. Received that. Received that. The other thing I've noticed, Dawn, is that there's a few of these that are like little tiny ones. I mean,
Mhm.
Frosthaven we received, we haven't even opened in the box.
Mhm.
Ankh Gods of Egypt, which was a Simon, I did not receive it. I don't think I ever filled out the backer thing. And so it's totally
Okay,
my fault.
there's
So I basically donated to Simon.
they
Um,
thank you for your service.
right? Uncharted Realms, Lords of Shadow, 3D print scenery. I don't remember if I ever downloaded that pack. I think I did. It may be somewhere. The Batman game we got, the Alamo stuff we got, that's been Return to Dark Tower was a very good investment.
Yeah, awesome
Um,
game.
the War Pig I got, that was from Miniature Building Authority. Victoria Cross I got. So there's some I got, and then there's some I'm like, oh, I never got those. Militia Bad Guys. I never got those, and it's not the gentleman's fault that did it. I don't think I ever filled out the thing on it. I just totally forgot. If you're not on top of this stuff, like Hood Swashbuckling Adventures in Sherwood, I don't even remember. It's an RPG. I don't even remember getting that. Oh no, I only did $1. Okay. Um, so you almost get overloaded with this stuff. Can you read that? It's hard for me to read from here.
I can. The problem is that they covered unexpected costs from their older Kickstarters themselves. And then with COVID and extra costs made impossible to do that anymore. And now they need serious help now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I get it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
but I am with you in like basically asking people to pay for something twice is ridiculous. Like I think we have all come to peace with shipping charges. Like you make your best guess on what the shipping expense is going to be for people, and realistically
Yep.
they underdo it. Like and I get it, and that's just how it happens. And then just totally depending on where you live, if they are a US based company and now they're having to ship across the pond, for example, or in the reverse,
Right.
that shipping is going to be a lot more than they anticipate. So I fully understand reaching back out to a backer and being like, look, we underestimated shipping costs. This is what the true shipping is. We need you to make up the difference for that. Like, totally get it.
Yeah.
But doubling your price for something that you ordered with all that built in the first place, that not okay. Not okay.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. And again, we're not trying to bash on anybody in particular. It's just like what happened,
Yeah.
So it's like, did they build in a cushion into their estimates of the amount they needed to raise for unseen events?
Yeah.
You know, hence why you have budget with when I work on a budget for my unit or hospital, whatever the case may be, you always build in a little bit extra for unplanned expenses,
Yeah.
right? Because if you go to the finite line of a budget, there more than not, often than not, something's going to happen. And you've already blown your budget,
Yeah.
right? Or you have to take from somewhere else. So
Probably not enough.
yeah,
Yeah, probably not. And like I said, I think you've totally hit it there with it's they're not they're not doing the Kickstarter just for the purpose of funding that Kickstarter. It now has become a company, its own beast, and you're always looking to the next thing and the next thing.
hmm
And yes, you want to stay relevant, and staying relevant means making content, getting new things out, keeping your name out there so people know who your company is. But at what expense? Because when you get yourself into a position like this, somebody's got to take a hard step back and go, okay, look, we're not moving on to the next thing yet. We need to wrap up
yep,
what it is that we have going and kind of go from there, because
yeah,
it's a vicious cycle now at this point.
yeah. So I mean, it's almost like they're depending on a new Kickstarter's funds to help
Yep.
continue keeping them alive, essentially.
Yep.
So, and hoping that the Kickstarter generates enough buzz that it becomes huge, so they have an influx of
Right.
cash versus
Right.
other things. All right, so let's move on to some news, shall we? Um, so looking at our page, there is a company called Scouts Out, raids and reconnaissance in 1914 to 1918, but they're actually looking for playtesters for their Vietnam era rule set. If interested, send us a PM. Thank you. I've never heard of them. So
Mm.
if anybody's heard anything about it, I would love to hear about it because I have not. Let us see what else we got going on. It appears that Jim did some tactical combat today in pro Syrian versus Christians. So something in the Middle East. Jim's Black Hawk Down was good. We haven't seen that. Um, so yeah, let me switch pages here just so I can bring up more news. Rubicon Models has Renault R35 tanks for an armor platoon. Um, if you don't go directly to your Facebook page, you get a lot of silly crap like Nerds Raging, 27 Spider-Man interviews. What the hell's that got to do with wargaming? Canadian Army, we follow them because it's good inspiration. Gale Force 9 has Star Trek minis for their new Star Trek Expeditions game. Um, Black Powder Red Earth, see a lot of stuff from them. Somebody's talking about a Black Powder Red Earth themed Star Wars Legion. Hey, Gray for Now Games has Mushai. It looks like something for ouch. Yeah, that's me. Go away. Test of Honor.
Nice.
Test of Honor was a game. I'm surprised if for anybody out there. Test of Honor was a game I backed when it went to Kickstarter or not even Kickstarter, it was a pre-order on Warlord Games. Backed the whole thing. They had a big pre-order. If you pre-ordered this, you get this big bundle. I got it.
How's it going for you?
I never opened it. I never opened it. I think I looked at the boxes and went, wow, these look really cool. And it sat in our closet. And I ended up, when we sold off our game collection, somebody's got a really nice set.
Yep.
So, which same because I really do like that. So then Lead Pursuit Podcast is talking about 3D printing with another group. Anything but a one historical wargaming, so everybody's doing. Look, people, anything but a one historical wargaming podcast. Let me see who these people are. About I'd like to see when they started. don't think they show that anymore. I don't think, right? Created May 24th, 2020. Oh, geez.
Yep.
Oh, geez. Okay. We started back in 2018, 2017, somewhere thereabouts. And, but welcome to the group. Anyway. I'm trying to see what else. Anything. Andy Hobday, Mountain Orcs. He's doing something. He's got some game going on with fantasy stuff. Catalyst Game Labs is doing BattleTech, obviously. Again, I get all this stuff that has nothing to do with the wargaming.
Mhm.
Black Site Studios. We knew those guys when they pretty much were on the scene,
Yep.
Small Town Gas Station. It looks all right. It's, little basic thing. And then our buddies and friends over at On Tabletop showed off some Warhammer Day previews from Old World, Old Hammer, Warhammer Fantasy. The Protonians look pretty good. And then Rubicon showing off a cargo truck. Knuckle Dusters, Forest, showing up something for Halloween called Morgan's Go. You know what? I can go on and share with everybody.
Right.
Instead of doing this way.
Describing photographs of
Yes.
people.
I mean, podcast, though, essentially, but,
Yeah.
but people are watching as well. So that is not the page I wanted.
This is not the page you're looking for.
It is not. Okay. All right. I'm going to share a page with everybody. Share screen?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why my glasses are so weird today. You know what? Let's do it this way. No.
Doesn't like it.
No, like I said, it does not. Oh, we could do this. Okay. All right, we are sharing. We're coming up. All right, guys. Okay, so Black Powder Red Earth showing off somebody. A troop. Night vision goggles.
He looks cool.
Yeah, well detailed.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see the actual print. In country, that looks pretty good. Asymmetric Wargaming. So Asymmetric Wargaming is actually, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name. He was partners with Steven from Spectre. He went on his own.
Oh.
What is his name? I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've talked to him. Historical Wargaming Society. This guy does really nice artwork. He does all these different artwork pieces.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Plus, Soldier Company's got some armored vehicles. Look good. Tin Fruit Buildings has got some Middle East type buildings. What happened? Yeah, we looked at that.
Ooh, that looks nice.
Yeah, the little temple.
Is that resin?
It probably is because it doesn't look like MDF. But that would go well with Test of Honor.
Yeah. Oh Lord, here we go.
Donuts. These big Cheerios are way better. Most definitely. Historical Gaming Society. Is that a mariachi band?
It is.
From Great Escape Games.
You know what? And I see that, and literally all I can think of is the Three Amigos.
Oy vey.
Yeah.
Force Horsemen of Perfectly Casted Rolls. I don't know why that's a thing. Again, there's a lot of crap on here. Knuckle Duster. This is what I was talking about. Morgan's Ghost. So it looks pretty good there from Forest. For Halloween.
I was gonna say that's Halloweeny, huh?
Yep. Offensive Miniatures. Pendraken Miniatures. Now, if you're into your little tiny guys, those look like sci-fi guys.
Yeah.
A kangaroo with a teddy bear. I'm not sure why. Um, More terrain for test of honor type. Looks good. A dog with a log. Badger games. Again, there's a lot of stuff in here. Happy anniversary to the guys over at Warlord. They've had an anniversary recently. Crisis Protocol. Okay, as you can see, Gunslinger. So there is another blog podcast called Charge Blog. Hence this right here, Charge Blog. They have created their own modern miniatures game called Gunslinger, and it appears now that it has been released. It'll come up. So if you're looking for an alternative version of Spectre, any of these modern rule sets, Gunslinger is out as well. So, and I can't remember who's making their miniatures, but they have a company they're working with that's making their miniatures. So there you go. All
Those
right.
are just render
Yeah, those are
images
just
right now.
renders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna okay. So all right. So that was kind of the news. Do you have any news that you want to talk about?
Outside of the next chapter of Lorcana coming out,
Mhm.
which is Rise of the Floodborn, and I'm very excited, except I have a very bad feeling that much like the first chapter, it's going to be next to impossible to get your hands on.
Yeah.
The market still it's been non-existent for the first chapter. I find myself very fortunate that I was able to snag what I did from
Mhm.
Frontline when I did the pre-order. However, I've not seen them list anything for pre-order yet with this next set.
Mhm.
It'll come out the beginning of November, so pretty soon. Well, actually, maybe more like middle of November, but I'm ready to add more cards to it. We've been enjoying playing it, but it's funny. I told Bill the other day, I have to wonder if this is what Magic felt like when Magic first came on the scene,
Mhm.
because it's the only frame of reference that I have right now. And, Magic has thousands and thousands of cards available to you with it now. So
Right.
you can keep it fresh and interesting as often or not as you want to. Where right now we're very stuck in, these are the cards that we have. Use these.
Right.
And it's fun and I'm totally enjoying it, but my creative mind that likes to build different decks and try different things and whatever, I'm feeling a little stuck right now, so I very much want to get my hands on some more cards, but we'll see. I don't know
Yeah.
how quickly that's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think there's much other. It's kind of a slope. Usually this time of year is slow for the gaming world. So we get ready to ramp up for the
I was
holidays,
going to say, yeah, we haven't
and
hit
it's
that.
post convention time.
Yeah.
This is usually the lull. Between roughly the beginning of October to around December, beginning of December, it's very slow in the wargaming community as far as product and
There'll
stuff.
be, we'll have stuff being mentioned more frequently soon because
Yeah.
everybody will have Black Friday
Right.
stuff. So there will be an onslaught of
That's a thing
news.
because a few years back there was no Black Friday in Europe.
That's true.
Look, the United States has corrupted the rest of the world when it comes to shopping and
Come to the
materialism.
dark side. We have cookies.
Yeah. But now UK has Black Friday sales and they don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, but they have Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see Black Friday sales and they'll do some Christmas releases, to get people to do their Christmas shopping, but then it slows down again until convention season starts ramping up again because
Yep.
you have is it LVO is the first one of the new year. I think it's end of January, I think.
Possibly.
And then you have Gamma in March-ish
And Adepticon.
and Adepticon. Speaking of which, Adepticon announced that they're going to be doing let me see if I can bring up their page. Again, they're going to have Adepticon. Adepticon. I believe Team Yankee's going to have a big qualifier there. Next
Oh,
year, it's
nice.
March 20th, 24. So let's see. They haven't updated since the 20th September. They're obviously doing Golden Demon. No, they've been updating. But they're going to have all kinds of stuff going on. But from a historical standpoint, I'm trying to find any historical stuff, but yeah, I can't see it now. But I know they just announced that there's going to be a big qualifier for Team Yankee at Adepticon, um, and some other things. Um, so yeah, you got it up
I was
there.
looking on their Facebook. Sometimes that's maybe not.
Of course, they got a lot of Warhammer stuff on there because
Yeah.
for those that don't know, Adepticon started out as basically a Warhammer convention, event. It was a Warhammer tournament, and then it just expanded from there. And now it's probably the largest miniature wargaming convention in the United States. So, but there's that. I don't know if I can do it. So I wanted. So I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a little bit of me that's kind of like, I was really excited to do tabletop wargaming again, and then it was like, oh, I got to put stuff together. Oh, I got to paint it. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got. It felt like it's a chore again. Um, how do you guys? I'm talking to you all out there. How do you all get through the feeling of it's a job, it's work, it's a chore? I used to love painting and feel it was cathartic, and I could just sit down and paint. I don't have a paint
I
station
was gonna say,
anymore.
I think that's really your barrier right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So, I mean, I know how much you love painting.
As much as Chris does.
Yeah, so there's that. Um, how do you keep the momentum going? Do your interests change over time? Like right now, I'm really in, and I hate to admit it, but I really am into a lot of the historical wargaming stuff, on computer. That's right.
Blame GW for your biggest war games.
We could count on you, Tuffy. We could count on you. Um, but wait a minute, aren't you doing some more Hammer stuff, by the way? Um, but like I said, I mean, if you look behind us, I don't know, you might not be able to see it now. I can't. But over there, I mean,
It's in the dark.
in the dark, there's Lord of the Rings still sitting in the box. Star Wars Shatterpoint still sitting in the box. Leviathan, the new 40K stuff, is sitting right there in the box. Um, and I keep telling myself I'm going to sit down and bang it out, and go from there. So I don't know what's going on. Part of it is, and I hate to blame my job. My job's great. I love my job, but I come home, I'm like exhausted.
Mhm.
And it's almost like, oh yeah, Hero Quest, it's right there too.
Yeah.
We play that a lot. Joey loves Hero Quest.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yes,
Joe is Leroy Jenkins.
to the max. That boy. So we were playing it. I was playing the monster guy, the monsters and all that. And Don and Joe were. I think we may have said this before, but we're going through the first adventure, and Dawn said, "Don't go into this room yet. We're
Wait for
not."
me, wait for me, wait for me. Like I said it constantly.
And what did he do?
Nope, full speed ahead into the room.
And what happened?
We were overwhelmed with the amount of monsters in that room and died very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Joe.
Kind of took the fun right out of that game.
But yeah, so it's like, I hate to admit it, but I almost want to pay somebody to put all our shit together. And then and that's terrible. That's not how I am. That's not how I work.
But see, I like to put things together. Like maybe we're approaching this wrong.
Maybe.
Like
I
maybe it
mean,
needs to be more assembly style because I don't mind that part of it. I just don't want to paint it.
And it's funny because I love painting, but again, I don't have a paint station set up anymore. I mean, we have that really nice hobby bag with paint stuff in it, and then it's like, do I have the right colors? And I'm like, I've been hesitant to buy more paint.
This corner right here that is
Yeah,
holding a bunch of miscellaneous crap would be the perfect place for you to put a little paint station.
that's true. And you know what? And um, you know, we tried to do like a hobby night here and there, and weeknights just are hard. They are hard, because it literally every time I plan one, what happens? Something happens at work,
Always, yeah.
and I end up being stuck there. And then by the time I get
Murphy
home, I see
Murphy
it.
is a jerk, and
Right.
he knows exactly when to show up whenever
So
you schedule something.
I think what we need to do, and we've done this in the past. I mean, we have the famous Barstool incident. Is do our Saturday night painting, our Saturday Night Live, the
Yeah.
hobby live. And I know it's late for the UK, so we might have to do it earlier in the day so we can include our UK friends and European friends. You know, like if we did it at 5 o'clock, that's only what, 10, 11 ish, maybe ish. Oh, so I mean, we pick a time where it's everybody can, participate as much as possible. And I would love to see people actually, because we can invite people on our
Mhm.
chat where they can live stream in and show off their work at the same time we're working on it. That's what I would love to see happen, is for
That'd be
us
super fun.
to do the paint hobby thing again, and we'll seatbelt Marty in this time.
Nah, what fun is that? I say we set it up for total danger. We like bust a leg of the chair. We make sure he sits in
Oh,
that
like the old
chair.
Roadrunner
Yes,
where they saw
yes.
part of the leg off,
Acme will acme
Yeah.
some stuff.
And do that, and maybe that'll motivate me to do some stuff. I guess part of it is I just felt like we had deadlines, and I that's too much like work,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. I don't know. Is it a shift in the planets? Because I mean, look at Luke. Wasn't his name Luke? The guy,
Yep. Yep.
Luke. He left the YouTube altogether and hobbying. I mean, I don't know if he's doing anything independent, but he's gone.
There is something to be said for there is that sweet spot for when it becomes work rather than doing something that you really love.
Yeah. And we love the actual work side. I mean, we went to Gen Con this year, very last minute.
Danger Marty. Tuffy, I think we need t-shirts that say that. I think that is an awesome logo. Danger Marty.
Instead of Danger Will
Yes.
Robinson, it's Danger Marty. Um, but you know, it's almost like we just got to find that rhythm again.
Mhm.
Um, because I mean, how did we do it when we started? Because we worked full time jobs,
Mhm.
and we came home every day and wrote how many articles? A day, 10,
Yeah.
5 each. I think it was. Somewhere between 6 and 10 articles a day for Piece of War. And then we went to the conventions,
Mhm.
and then we filmed some unboxings. And do you guys want to see unboxings on this channel? I mean, I don't think we've really done one in a long time. I mean, I don't want to just do an unboxing to do an unboxing.
Right.
I'd like to, if you guys send us recommendations for something, you got to do it, Bill. What do I got to do? What?
You got old, Bill.
Oh, I got old. Sorry, my
Shots
glasses. I can't
fired.
see. So what? It
The
happens.
vision's the first thing that goes, Tuffy.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing cheaters. I mean, they're just,
that are filthy. I couldn't see through them either if I was
oh
trying to
yeah,
wear
they
them.
are damn dirty. Good God, and they're scratched to hell.
Yeah.
I just need to get throw them away and get a new pair. I mean, I buy them by the box. Yeah, now I can see it. But I'd almost like to start a game club.
We've talked about this before,
Yeah.
and um to that point, like for example, I really need something like that here
Mhm.
because working from home now, I like the outlet for being out elsewhere and meeting new people and making friends in the new place that we live,
Yeah.
like that whole opportunity has been removed. So short of meeting people through your work and stuff or going to participate at something at a game store are like the only real ways to do that right
Right.
now. And I am, admittedly much more into board games and card games than I am miniatures games. I do like some miniatures games, but those other categories are where my mental space lives
Yeah.
90% of the time. And I reached out. So we have a game store that literally is down the street from where we live. And it's a cute store. It's small. But they don't I messaged the owner of the store and I asked if they have like a board game night or something, and they don't have anything like that. He directed me over to the store's Discord to strike up a conversation maybe and
Oh,
see
yeah?
if anyone would be interested. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's like no solution.
Did you go there?
I did. Most of everything everyone was talking about is either Pokemon related or a miniature game related thing. So I don't know. I think there's an opportunity there. What you got here, Tuffy? I tried starting a gaming club, got loads of support before setting it up. And once set up, all the support faded away. That's interesting. See, but I am to that point, I'm really jealous of the structure you guys have for game
Yeah.
clubs because that is just our game stores here in the States, they're just not wired that way. Like they are a place to go buy things and a place to go when there is an event going on, but less about a place to just go hang out and try new things. And they're definitely not structured for um like if you went there monthly or even more often than that for like, hey, this time we're going to try this game and like give people an opportunity to like try something else. It instead end up being a little more clicky. This is the cluster of people that like to do this thing, and so they might meet there regularly to do that, but I don't know. I don't know. It just feels different. I'm jealous of what that looks like across the pond. Uh-oh, what you reading?
Oh, nothing. Just
Okay. So, I don't know, but I need something like that, and I don't know what it would look like. I don't know. Maybe I need to make more of an effort to talk to the guy down the street here and see because maybe I could get that going there.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I got to get some people to play Godfather with me because that's what I like to play.
I mean, you could start. I mean, we have this really nice game room setup.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a 8-person round table. It's perfect for games, and we barely ever use it. I
Yeah.
mean, right now it's storage for everything.
Yeah. I
So
sort magic cards on the big game table right now. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's my magic sorting table. Actually, I will start doing puzzles on the magic sorting table.
oh boy.
So,
But yeah, I mean, you could do as Malifaux on there. A little 2x2, 4x4. Board on there. I mean, pretty much any of the miniatures games we can 4x6. I think we can do 4x6 on there. But yeah, I mean, we can do games. It's just, and I think the other thing that's kind of has it been 2 years now? 1 year, year and a half? We sold out. We sold our entire game hobby. I mean, everything we own hobby game related except for a few minor things, we sold. We cleaned. We sold our house.
yeah.
And it was kind of liberating to get rid of all that stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
we had a room very similar to this. That was our hobby room. We had a walk-in closet that was full of game stuff. We had a room in our basement, which was the studio, that was full of game stuff.
Mhm.
And then we had other game stuff stored in another storage room in our basement.
Mhm.
And half the stuff we never touched,
Yep.
you know? So I'm kind of hesitant to start collecting stuff again. That's why I tried to institute the rule: don't buy another game until I complete building and painting the first game. Well, I'm on 3 boxes now that and I have yet to do. So, and I have the Huey model. I'm still got to finish. Um, it's just like, you only have so much time. I almost envy the people that are only dedicated to one game system,
Yeah.
you know? All these 40K players, that's all they play. I'm kinda jealous that you're okay with doing that versus, "Oh my god, that's cool, I need that. Oh, I'm interested in that. Oh, I want that." And
But
I
you
th
know what? I feel like we're coming back to the same thing though. They have a a dedicated place to go play to do that
mm,
and a dedicated group of other people that like to do the same thing.
yeah.
So when you get enough people that are all in on the same thing, I think it's a lot easier to be focused on the one game system.
Well, my brother, he doesn't go to a game store to play 40K, but he has friends who are pretty much diehard
Correct.
40K, and
Correct.
they come and play. I mean, he's dipped his toes into the water for bolt action, but I think he likes that because to me, I equate that as a historical version of 40K.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know that much about 40K. I've been trying to get into it. I really need to make a concentrated effort to get into it, but he likes bolt action because it does play. It is a very relatively easy game to understand and to play. You roll a dice. You start at 3 and you add or subtract from there,
Mhm.
and then it's the weapons ranges and stuff are based on a general category, not specific. Is it a rifle? Is it a machine gun? And blah blah blah. So I mean, it doesn't get too heavy into the weeds.
Mhm.
So people can play it. Um, I like it. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I've played in couple tournaments on it. Got my ass handed to me, but I mean, I've played it. Um, but yeah, um, I don't know. It's what do you guys do to motivate yourself? Do you just say, you know what, I'm just going to play this one system until I'm bored or ready to play something else? Or do you divide your time? Or I think we should host a game club. We should create a game club. You could put out on one of we don't want to take away from the stores. Obviously, we're not going to sell anything, so we're not,
Right.
take. But there might be other people like you that would like to do, anybody interested in board game night. Obviously, we're going to have some people coming to our home, so they can't be weirdos.
Right.
You know,
That's why I feel like maybe I just need to start
yeah.
with the store down the road.
So Tuffy Ears says, I think the secret to UK games clubs is a lot of them are independent from the store and ran in the local community center or village hall.
Oh, interesting.
If we had those,
I know. Well, like I said, it
we
just
have community centers, sort of, kind of,
I don't I don't
not
think we
really,
really have anything that's the same.
not like you all have. Back in the day, we had churches. A lot of activities were out of the church.
Mhm.
Like in Chicago, everything's built into parishes for the most
Mhm.
part. Back in the old Chicago, where modern Chicago, fortunately, parishes have kind of gone the way of the dodo bird. In most of Chicago, there are still a few holdouts, but and I mean, I did scouts in our church. Our in the I can't remember what they call it, the fellowship building, but the not the actual chapel itself, but the
Director.
directory directory. And we did CCD obviously, but a lot of community activities were held in the church as long as it didn't go way outside the teachings of the church, right? As a Catholic. um so a lot of community activities were done in the church.
Mhm.
um Community center, I'm trying to think. We had the
I
YMCA's.
know that was really the only thing I could think of, but
I mean, we've had community centers where you could like rent the hall and stuff, but you're at the mercy of everybody else that wants to rent it. You couldn't like have a regularly scheduled room,
right.
like you all can do over in Europe and UK. Um, so usually, like Jim's group rented out like a warehouse space, and now it looks like they're losing it because they're raising
Oh,
the
really?
rent or something's happening. So they don't even know if they're gonna have a club anymore. So they're looking for space. And like I said, we have space here. I mean, it's perfect. We have a large table. We have gaming space. If we have a group of people we were comfortable with clubbing, and that's how it was when I did D&D. it was people that got together and did D&D. It's fine. It's just, if you had a regular night where people came in and played Lorcana or come and play Commander or whatever, again, you don't want to take away from the stores.
Hmm.
We don't want to compete with the stores because stores rely a lot on Magic players.
Yeah.
To come and play because then they buy cards and snacks, if they offer that kind of stuff. But like to your point, they don't do a board game night.
Mm-mm.
So you should do a board game night.
I don't remember if I asked Frontline if they do.
Frontline Games is a beautiful store. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a big play area and they have a separate rooms for D&D and stuff like that. My only thing is it's so big and noisy and busy.
Yeah.
It kind of distracts from you concentrating on your game, at least in my opinion. Other people probably could, whatever, but when I play a game, I want to be able to concentrate. I want to be distracted by everything that goes on. Unfortunately, I have, I don't want to say an illness, but past experience, I always have to watch who's coming and going from that room. Unfortunately, it's, from my past employment, as a police officer, I always have to see what's coming and going in the rooms and assess the threat, So, in busy places where there's a lot of people, it's really hard. One, it's hard to hear what's going on, and there's so much outside activity. It's hard to concentrate, and sometimes you make stupid moves. In a space like this, it's just the people that have come to play that game,
True.
and all that. So it's a wonder how. Then there's people who will play games, but they only play conventions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They only play at conventions. So remember, the odds of being attacked by a cat with a tank is low, but never zero. Thank you for that words of wisdom, Tuffy.
True. Might save your life someday. Yes.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
It's just interesting. It's not as cut and dry. I mean, I would love to have a place where you could go and it's just a game club where, hey, tonight we're doing historicals. Tonight we're doing fantasy. Tonight, we're whatever. Because we have Malifaux stuff. We haven't even set up our Malifaux stuff yet. And we really like that game, So, I don't know. How do you guys do it? I mean, are you happy just hobbying and that's, the gameplay is secondary, if at all? Or is the gameplay more important than the hobby? And if if it's gameplay for you, how do you overcome finding opponents? You just have a couple friends that come over or you go, switch houses or whatever, and you just go game there.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I mean, I feel bad for Dawn. One, Dawn's very outgoing and social. And she works from home now, which is a double whammy for her. Option one, please, Bill. Option one. What was option one? I forget. So, yeah, hobby first, and then game for Tuffy.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm fine just hanging out with a few people. I'm not big on crowds and the outgoing stuff. It's easy. It's weird because like when we're doing convention stuff, it's easy for us to go and do our thing because it's like it's different almost. It's almost like you have this different role in the environment, and it's important that I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not just part of the crowd anymore. You're almost a little bit out from the crowd. We rub elbows with celebrities, gaming celebrities, if you will. So, we know a lot of the who's who in the gaming world. So, I am lucky that I have a dedicated board game group and we meet every Thursday. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
So it's just a matter of being able to, I mean, you know what? The hardest step is what, Dawn?
Getting going.
The first step, right?
Yep.
once you make that first move, then things, it's easy from there. It's literally the first step. So, I mean, if we want to create a board game group or a gaming group that meets once a week or once every other week, however, whatever, it's just a matter of putting the feelers out there and saying, "Hey, we're looking for some players to play board games and, miniature games and whatnot, and, start a game club,
Hmm.
you know, and go from there." So,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we've talked about it in the past, starting a sit rep game club. And, of course, things just don't happen the way you plan on. I'm the idea guy. Um, Sometimes my ideas are a little grander than reality allows, right?
Hmm.
Maybe.
That's why we work well together. He just tosses idea after, and then I have to bring us back to reality somewhere.
Right. So, but yeah. Last time I played a
Oh, wow.
wow. So you haven't played an actual full on game since 2019? Wow. All right, I don't feel so bad. So, yeah, I mean, stuff to think about because I love this hobby. I do. I love visually seeing armies on a table
Mhm.
and want to get into doing it. So, yeah. So, I don't know. Do you have any last thoughts before we wrap up the show today?
No, not specifically.
Okay.
It's a lot to think about, and I think I am going to hop on that Discord and at least maybe I'll throw a question out there and see if anybody responds to it. I was very surprised at how focused the conversation was in the Discord because I thought, "Oh, okay, good." Like
Hmm.
maybe everybody a little bit of everything will be happening in there, and it was very Pokemon, and I am just not into Pokemon. That
Yeah.
is not my thing. Um, which is surprising because it's cards, and everybody knows me with cards,
Yeah.
but that is just not my jam.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, I was just thinking about this as you were saying that. As far as like a board game group, it's almost, I almost wonder. COVID, Tuffy here says COVID and work, basically. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But basically, because you do work from home, it might even be better for you to have a board game night at that game
Elsewhere. Yeah.
elsewhere. Because you don't want to feel like you're a prisoner in your own home either.
True.
Whereas me, I'm like, oh, thank God I'm home and I don't want to go anywhere. I just hang. So I mean, that's unfortunately the downfall of remote working from home is
Mhm.
that you're home. That's why I said it's so important for you to go upstairs to your office and work in your office,
Mhm.
not downstairs. And you have that separate workspace, so it feels like you're going to work.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I know it's kind of a subdued show. I'm gonna try and get Marty's content out later today. It may be delayed until Wednesday. Unfortunately, like I said, there's some corrupted files I am trying to get through. But this podcast will count as Sunday's content in the meantime. Um, and we'll go from there. I want to thank the Dawn.
It's good to be here, guys.
Yeah, and I know it wasn't a lot of laughter and goofiness today, but it's just every show can't be laughter and goofiness. But we'll bring up some more content. And like I said, if you have ideas, unboxings, products you want us to look at, I'm happy to look at, go find them and unbox them for you, especially if you're seriously on the fence of thinking, I really like that. I wonder if I should get that. I'm happy to go, pick it up and do a review with you guys. And yeah, Danger Marty.
Danger Marty.
And go from there. So, yeah. So for Dawn, I'm Bill. This has been the Sit Rep Podcast. Have a great week, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
You have been listening to the SitRep podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. Remember to join us every other weekend for a new episode of the podcast, and don't forget our other programming on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thanks for listening.